Good morning, everyone. Let me give you a glance at what we have discussed in last session. We have started with group by clause. And what is group by clause? Whenever we wanted to perform grouping, we can use group by clause. And in group by clause also, we understood we should follow three rules. What is that? Yes? Forgot? Whenever in select statement we are having common columns along with a aggregate function, it is compulsory that we should do the grouping. What is the second rule? How many ever columns which is present in your select statement, that should be present in your group by clause also, and it is mandatory. What is the third rule? Whatever common columns which is present in your group by clause, it is not mandatory that it should be present in your select statement. So these are the three rules that what we should follow. So in today's session, we are going to understand about subqueries. And what is subqueries? Please try to focus. Before giving introduction about subqueries, we should know in how many categories it has been divided. First, we are having single row subquery. Next, we are having multi-row subquery. Next, we are having correlated subqueries. What are all the types of subqueries we are having? Three. What is that? Single row subquery, multi-row subquery, and correlated subquery. See, in simple terms, if I have to define about subqueries, so what is subquery? Please focus. If we have a query inside a query, then we can say this is a subquery. Have you seen nested for loop in Java? We are having for loop. Inside that again we are having for loop. Inside that also we are having for loop in a nested manner. So like this over here also we can have query. Inside that query we can have one more query. Inside that also we can have one more query in a nested format. And this is known as your subqueries. And what is single row and what is multi-row and what is correlated, you will understand when I will be taking up a question. That time you will understand. Now what I will do, just to give you a more clarity, I will be putting one scenario. Just you have to read that scenario and try to understand how you can solve. So please focus here. What happened? Hello. Okay. Hello. So please focus everyone. So this is a scenario. Please read it out and try to understand. And how many of you have completed your assignments? Okay, so most of you. Okay, I will be checking after the class. Yes, what should be the query for this? Select. Please focus everyone. We have to write a query to display the department and the first name. It means we can display department ID, we can display first name. For all employees, from employee table only we have to display. Who works in the same department in which Jennifer is working. So we have to display such employee information whose department ID will match with the Jennifer's department ID. That information only we have to display. Now please focus here. Do we know that what is the department ID of Jennifer here? Do we have this information? It means this partial information we don't have in a question. So first what we should do? We should get the department ID of Jennifer. How we can get the department ID of Jennifer? So please focus everyone. In this question, we don't know that what is the department ID of Jennifer. So what we will do, first we will get the department ID of Jennifer. How we can get the department ID of Jennifer here? How we can get? Select. We should write select. After select, what we should write? Yes, department ID. From which table we should take this? From employee. After that, what we should write? Where? After this, E underscore F name equal to Jennifer. Now, with the help of this query, we can get the department ID of Jennifer. For example, this query has written to us 21. What this has written? 21. It can be any department ID. I am taking an example. It has written to us 21. So what we should do? We should take this information and we should pass to one more query. Understood? What we should do? We should take this information and we should pass to one more query. And please focus over here. If we are having this information, then which query we can write? Which query we can write? We can select over here. Please focus. We can select what we have to display here. Department ID. We can select department ID. And what we can select? First name. From which table? From employee, where department ID equal to this. That is what we have to get. The moment if we will pass over here for this query, so what we will be doing over here, we are comparing with the 21 department ID, and wherever 21 department ID will match over here, for that department ID we will get department ID and first name. Understood? So what we have done, we have written two query. One we have written this query and one more we have written this query. And my friend, this is known as your subquery. Query inside a query. And that is what I am doing here. Whatever we have written, this is known as your subquery, and whatever over here I have written, this is your main query or an outer query. This one is your subquery and this one is your main query. So subquery result we are passing to the main query. So that is what? This is your outer or main query, and this one is your subquery. Or you can say inner query, or you can say nested query. And whenever this scenario exists, you have to go with subquery only, because over here we don't know the department ID of Jennifer, and over here you should not hard code. Understood? You should not see your table and you should not hard code. You have to get that particular result from a query only. And this query has returned department ID of Jennifer. That is what we wanted. And over here with this department ID, we can compare all the department ID. And if this department ID and this, if it is matches, then we can get first name and the department ID of an employee. Which query will execute first? Your inner or your main query? Inner query will execute first, because that result only we are comparing. So first this query should execute. Then only we can compare with 21. So every time your inner query will execute first. And please focus here. As our subquery, we can have multiple subquery. So if you wanted to write one more subquery, you can write over here. But as our main query, we can have only one main query. How many subqueries we can have? Multiple subqueries we can have. How many main query we can have? Only one. And from which query you are getting the final result here? From which query you are getting the final result? From main query only. So always remember this thing also. So let's write this one. I'll go to my command prompt. So first what we should write here? Use tab academy. Now which statement we have to write over here first? We have to write select. It means we have to write our outer query first. So what is that? Select department ID. First name we have to select. From which table we have to select this? From employee. And what we have to match with our inner query? Department ID we have to match. So what we should write over here? Where department ID should be equal to 21. So from where we can get 21? From our inner query. You should not put 21 directly. If you will put, it means you are hard coding. You should get 21 with the help of subquery. Understood? So what we should write next? We should write subquery. And how to write subquery? Whenever you are writing subquery, you should put within parenthesis. That is why I have given open parenthesis and close parenthesis. So after that, we should write our inner query. Select what we have to compare? Department ID. From which table? From employee. Where E underscore F name and Jennifer is given in our question. That is why I am putting Jennifer over here. So what I will do? Equal to Jennifer. And we have to close. Semicolon. Understood? So that is what we wanted. We wanted all the employees from Jennifer department. And what is the department ID of Jennifer? 21. And that is what we wanted. All the employees from Jennifer department. So we got Madhavan. What is the department ID of Madhavan? 21. Same as Jennifer. We got Mamta. What is the department ID of Mamta? 21. Same as Jennifer. And that is what we wanted from our question. Understood everyone? Great. Which query will execute first here? Inner query will execute first, or you can say subquery. See, I have displayed that our subquery has some categorization. What is that? Single row subquery, multi-row subquery, and correlated subquery. Please focus over here. This query is single row or multi-row? Single row subquery. On what basis you guys are saying single row? On what basis? See, if your subquery will return only one row, then you can say it is a single row subquery. Over here, this is our subquery, and if you will execute your subquery, then it will return only one row, and this is a single row subquery. And if you wanted to execute your subquery separately, you can execute over here. Understood? So when you will execute, how many rows it will return to us? Only one row it will return, and that is what we have compared over here. If you wanted to execute separately, you can execute. How we can execute here? Select department ID from employee. How many rows it has returned to us? Only one row. That is why we should say this query is a single row subquery, because in subqueries we have some category. And what is that? Single row, multi-row and correlated. Single row, you understood? When your subquery will return only single row, that time we have to consider that subquery as your single row subquery. And please try to focus over here. Whenever you are writing subquery, you should put parenthesis also. If you will not put, it will throw you an error. And this mistake everyone used to do. That's what I have encountered with. Understood? So whenever you are writing subquery, you should make sure you have to put parenthesis. And within parenthesis only you have to put your subquery. And see how many semicolon I have used? Only once. It means this is a complete query. And you should not put semicolon over here in your outer query. Here you should not put. At last only you have to put. Please try to attempt next scenario. And when you have to use subquery, when you will identify when you have to use subquery, when you will identify. See, whenever in question you will not be having any information, either it can be complete information or partial information, and with the help of one query it is not possible to get the result, that time you have to go with subquery. Understood? So you have to identify this. What this question is asking about? We have to write a query to display the salary. It means we have to display the salary of all employees whose salary is greater than the average salary of an employee. We are having average salary, right? So what we should get? We should get all the employees whose salary is greater than the average salary. Here we have to take average salary from entire row. Understood? They are not saying that we should take average salary from each department. So we should take from entire row, from entire employees we should take the average salary. So first what we should get over here? First we should get average salary, because average salary we don't know over here. So which information? First of all we should get average salary. How you can get average salary here? If you wanted to get, we can use average function, right? So please focus everyone. So we can use average function. It means select average salary from employee. We should do grouping over here also. No, we should not do any grouping because we have to consider from every employee. Now, this query, what it will return to us? Average salary. It can be anything, but this will return us average salary. After that, what we should do? We should pass the average salary to one more query. That is what we should do. So how we can write one more query? In above of this query we can write. So what I will do? I will write one more query. So select. What we have to display? Salary we have to display. Salary from which table? From employee. We can use where, right? Where salary should be greater than this, and this query will return us average salary, and that is what we have to compare. Understood? So what I will do? I will put parenthesis. I will put semicolon over here. How many of you have written like this? You have written? You have also written? What about others? Having we should not write. Are we doing any grouping here? No, then what is the requirement of having? Do we have any common columns here? Do we have any common columns here? Then what is the requirement of grouping? Then what is the need of having here? Let's check it out in command prompt. Now first what we should write here, please focus everyone. Select, what we have to select? Salary. From which table? From employee. What condition we have to put here? Where salary should be greater than. Can we put average salary direct over here? No, we should get that from a subquery. How we can get average salary? What we have to put first? Parenthesis. Then we have to put select average salary from employee. So how many rows it has returned to us? How many rows it has returned? 7 rows. And whatever salary we got over here, all the salaries are greater than the average salary. Understood? That is why it has returned to us 7 rows. How many row or how many rows your subquery will return here? Only 1. Understood? So we can say this subquery is our single row subquery. If you want a proof, you can execute it separately. How we can execute it separately? Select average salary from employee. So it has written 37,000 something. And you can compare whatever salary we got over here, all the salaries are greater than this average salary. So those who wanted to make a note of this, you can make. First try to understand, then you have to make a note. Here which query will execute first? Subquery will execute first. And from which query we are getting a final result? From main query. How many subqueries we can have? Multiple. How many main queries we can have? 1. So please try to solve next question. Please have a focus here. First, try to understand this. See here, it should be who. It's a misprint that what we have mentioned, whose. It should be who, okay? So what we have to get here? Write a query to display the names of employees who work in the same department as the employee with the highest salary. So please focus here. For example, we have one employee and he is having the highest salary. We have one employee, name is Thomas, and he is earning the highest. For example, he is earning 85,000 and he belongs to department 26. It can be any department, it can be any salary. Now, we should get all the employees from his department only. Understood? And why we have to get all the department from his department? Because he is earning highest salary. And that is what we have to get. How we can get here? Maximum salary. What we should write first? First we should write inner query, right? Means we have to take care of inner queries. So what can be the inner query for this? Select max of salary from which table? From employee. Now this query will return a maximum salary. It can be anything. Understood? After that, what we have to write here? First name and last name. Are you sure? We have to write main query after this? No. See, whatever you will speak, same thing I will write. Yes, what we have to put here next? See, you have to say, sir, what you have to write. That you have to speak. Yes, what we have to write? Select we have to write. See, we have to write select, okay. What we have to select? First name we have to select. Okay. Then what we have to select? Department we have to select. Then what we have to select? Yes, please speak what we have to select. See, here if you will not speak, then how you will speak in front of interview? No idea? My friend, first we have to compare the salary and we have to get the departments. Understood? See, over here, we got maximum salary. Then, having this information, we have to compare salary. Understood? And while comparing salary, we should get the department ID. Understood? So, what we have to write? Just department ID we have to write here. We have to write department ID. From which table we have to write this? From employee, where salary equal to this. Understood? Now, for example, in our maximum salary, we got 85,000. And over here also, we are having 85,000. Now, when 85,000 will match, then their department ID we should get. Understood? So, what we will get over here? Department ID. It can be anything. Department ID can be anything. Now, keeping department ID, can we get first name and last name? Yes, we can get. So, what we should write? Select. What we have to display here? Display the name of employee. Name means first name and last name. Select first name, comma, last name. From which table? From employee. Where department ID equal to this. Understood? So first time what we are doing, we are taking this information and we are passing to the another query. Then we are taking this information and we are passing to the another query. It means main query. So how many subqueries we are using here? 2. What is that? One is this, one is this. And here we have to start our parenthesis for this query, for this subquery. And for this subquery also, we have to give parenthesis. And where we have to close? At last we have to close like this. Understood? Everyone? So over here, we are writing 2 subquery. Understood? So this information, whatever maximum salary we will get, we are passing to the other query. And whatever department ID we will get, we are passing to the main query. Understood? So please focus here. First, which statement we have to write? Select. Which information we have to select? First name, last name. From which table? From employee. And when you are writing, first you have to write your main query. Just for an understanding purpose, I am writing subquery first. Just for an understanding purpose. But when you are writing, you have to write your main query first. Understood? From employee, what condition we have to check? Where department ID equal to. Can we hard code here? No, we should get department ID. From where we can get? From our inner query. Select department ID from employee. What condition we have to check? Where salary should be equal to maximum salary. Can we hard code here? No, we should get maximum salary. How we can get maximum salary? We have to write a query. Select max of salary from which table? From employee. How many parentheses we have to put? 2 parentheses we have to put, because we have given 2 parentheses over here. That is why we have to enclose with 2 parentheses. Understood? So this inner query will return you a maximum salary, and that maximum salary you have to compare. And this inner query will return you a department id, and this department id you have to pass to your main query, and you have to get first name and last name where we are having such employee who is earning the highest salary. So over here, in three of them, one is earning highest. It can be Thomas also, it can be Aaron also, it can be Adam also. But any of them is earning highest, and that is what we wanted. Now this one is your single row subquery or multi row subquery? Multi row. It is a single row. How it is single row? If you will execute this query separately, how many rows it will return? 1. If you will execute this query separately, how many rows it will return? 1. That is why it is a single row. It is not on the basis of how many subqueries you are writing. Understood? So if you will execute separately, you will get the proof. Now please focus. If I will write this query only, what result it will return to us? Maximum salary it will return. Department ID, where we are having a maximum salary. If you will write this and this, let's do this. So select department ID from employee, where salary equal to max from employee. What it has written to us? Department ID, where we are having a maximum salary. So how many rows it has written? Only 1 rows, and this only we have written as our subquery in our previous query. So please focus here. Please try to solve this one. First read this question, what this question is asking. Hello. Guys, please focus here. See, we have to write a query to display the departments who don't have any employees working in it. We have to display the department ID from department table. Understood? For example, please focus here. This is our department table. Now, in department table, we are having one column. What is that? Department ID. And department ID in your department table, it is a primary key. Yes. So let's check it out over here. Department ID. How many departments we are having? How many departments we are having? For example, we are having 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. So these all are the departments which we are having inside a department table, and same column department ID we are having inside a employee table also. So let's focus here. So what I will do, I will put my employee table. Inside employee table also we are having department ID. For example, inside employee table, we are having departments 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. What are all the departments which is missing here? 20. That is what we have to get. Yes. So what this question is asking, write a query. We have to write a query to display the departments. Departments means we can display department ID, or if you wanted to display name, you can display. But for that departments who don't have any employees working in it, in such department, we should not have any employees. It means if 20, if it is not present over here, it means in department 20, we are not having any employee. Understood? That is what we have to get. Such departments where we are not having any employees. So over here, we are having department ID 20, where we are not having any employees. That is what we have to get. And in our final result, 20 should be returned. Understood? What it should be returned? 20. So 20 should be our final result. How we can write a query for this? Please think. How we can write? Yes, I'm asking something. See, if you will be, sir, silent, then nothing will work. Please speak. See, you understood the scenario. We should get such department where we are not having any employees. How we can write? Leave about that. Which table we have to include here? Employees table we have to include, and department table also we have to include, because final result we should get from department table. Understood? So final result we should get from department table, and as our subquery, which table we have to use? Employees table. And what we are checking here? Department ID. Department ID we are comparing, right? So what we have to compare? Department ID. How we can compare department ID here and there? How we can compare? How we can compare? Not in. Who said not in? Very good. We should use not in. And why we should use not in, that you will understand. But please focus here. What can be our subquery? What can be our subquery? Select. What we have to select here? Department. Name we have to select, or ID. ID we should get, right? From employee. This I am writing my inner query. From employee. And can we check for the presence of data? Yes, we can check for the presence of data. For example, this is our foreign key, right? What is this? This is a foreign key in our employee table. What is this? This is a primary key in our department table. If this is a foreign key, inside a department ID, can we have null? Yes, we can have null. See, in our table we are not having, but there is a chances we can have null. So what we should do? We should check for the presence of data. What we can put over here? Where department ID should not be null. It means is not null. So what we should get? We should get all the department IDs only. Understood? So what I will do? I will put where department ID is not null. Understood? Now, what are all the information this query will return to us? All the department IDs it will return from employee table. Now please focus over here. Inside our employee table, whatever departments we are having, that departments are repeating multiple times. Yes, over here we can have duplicate values. Yes, we can have, because this is a foreign key. Now, how we can remove duplicate values? Distinct we can use. So we should be more efficient. Understood? We should be more efficient. Where we can use distinct here? Here we can use distinct. The moment if you will use distinct, then it will only check unique values. So duplicate values it will remove. So what we can use? Distinct. We can use distinct. Now please focus. How many rows this query is returning to us? One row that is returning. It is returning multiple rows. Understood? So this query will return us multiple rows. Yes, you will get unique values, but also if you will remove duplicate, then also you will be having a multiple rows if you will execute this query. Understood? Now, we got all this result. Yes, and we have to compare with that department ID. Yes, how we can compare? How we can compare? Not equal to can we put? Not equal to can we put here? Leave about where condition. What we should write first? Select department ID from department where department ID. What we should put over here? We should put not in. Understood? You cannot put not equal to, because over here we are comparing with multiple rows. Understood? So when you are comparing with multiple rows, your equal to operator will not work. Your not equal to operator will not work. Either you can use in or not in. Understood? So which operator we can use over here? Not in we can use. Understood? So what we can use? Not in. Now, if you will use in operator, then what information you will get? What information you will get? You will get the matching values if you will put in operator. But if you will put not in operator, what you will get? Non-matching values you will get. Over here, 20 is not matching with any of the rows. Understood? That is what we wanted, and that is why I have put not in operator here. Understood what can be the query? Everyone? Great. So your subquery, how many rows it is returning to us? Multiple rows. And this subquery is known as your multi-row subquery. And if you will execute separately, this query will return you a multiple rows. And final result from which query we are getting? From main query. And please focus here. Whenever you are writing subquery, it should not be mandatory that table name should be same. Understood? Over here, which table I am using? Department. Over here, which table I am using? Employee. It is not mandatory that table name should be same. It can be anything. Understood? So let us write the query for this. Now what we have to write as our first statement? Select department ID from which table? From department. What condition we have to check? Where department underscore ID not in, what we have to write here? Select. Can we put distinct? Yes, we have to put distinct. After that, department ID from which table? From employee. Can we put this where department ID is not null? What it has written to us? 20. Why it has written 20? Because in 20 departments we are not having any employee, and that is what we wanted. Now, how we can get where in such department all the employees are working? We can use in. So if we wanted to get a matching values from department table and employee table, you can use in. So how we can use in? Select department ID from department where department ID in. Select distinct department ID from employee where department ID is not null. So how many rows it has written to us? 6. Now it has excluded 20 because 20 departments we are not having inside a employee table, because in 20 departments none of the employees are working. That is why. Understood? Can we use equal operator here? No, we can't use equal operator. Why we cannot use? Because equal operator will only compare your one row. How many rows it is returning to us? Multiple rows. And if you will use equal operator, see what error you will get. Equal to from employee. That is what we have written previously. What it has written to us? Is it visible for everyone? Subquery returns more than one row. If your subquery will return more than one row, you should not use equal operator. Can we use not equal to operator here? Let's check it out. Select department ID from department where department ID not equal to. Select distinct from employee where department ID. What it has written to us? Subquery returns more than one row. If your subquery will return more than one row, which operator you have to use? In operator or not in operator. You should not use equal to operator, or you should not use not equal to operator. This is not equal to symbol in SQL. Understood everyone? And this query, this subquery, how many rows it is returning to us? Multiple rows it is returning to us. If I want proof, how we can get a proof here? Select distinct ID from employee where department ID is not null. And this is a multi-row subquery. So those who wanted to make a note, they can make a note. So for the question that what I have displayed, this is a query for the question that what I have displayed. When you have to go with subquery? When it is not possible to get a final result from one query, then only we have to go with subquery. Whenever the partial information or a complete information is not present in our question, then also we can go with subquery. Which all subqueries we have seen today? Single row subquery and multi-row subquery. What is single row subquery? When your query will return only one row, when your subquery will return only one row, that time only you have to say it is a single row subquery. What is your multi-row subquery? When your subquery will return a multiple rows, then only we can say this is a multi-row subquery. And what is correlated, that you will understand further. And today you will be having your core Java session at 2 p.m., right? So you have to be seated over here. So if you wanted to go for a lunch, you can go. So that's it for today. I'll catch you in next session. Thank you very much.